3, 2, 1. And we're on.
And we're on.
Hey, everyone. I'm Liam, the daughter.
I'm Lori, I'm the mom.
What's up, girl?
What's going on?
Oh, nothing.
Nothing.
As you can tell by my voice, I'm a little sick.
You're a little sicky.
Have no fear. I got tested. It is not COVID. I get sick every January.
Every January, like freaking clockwork.
Yeah, I go a little hard with work. Like,
yes,
Black Friday and then January. It's just like,
you
girl,
you crash and burn.
Well, yeah, my body's like, can you knock it off for 2 seconds?
Yeah.
So this is that.
This is that, and we're pumping you full of herbs.
Yeah, we're good. I've got a little hot tea today.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. And
what you got?
This is a Christmas gift.
What is it?
It's my mug with Danny DeVito on it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kathy Morrissey.
I can't tell the difference between you and the mug.
Well, this is why I never wear my hair down, because that's what it would look like. The glasses, the same. There you go.
It does. There is a striking resemblance.
Isn't there?
There is.
One has to be able to make fun of themselves. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to celebrate this.
I do it all the time.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah. That's basically what this entire podcast is.
Right.
Oh, my gosh. So I did want to say we've had a week.
We've
had a week.
After 2020 got the hell out of here, and we did all of our, our ritual on New Year's Eve, and we were like
feeling all right,
gliding into 2021.
Here we come,
feeling fine.
Yeah. So I'm sick, obviously, like I said. So that was one thing. And we did want to say that fact check Jake, his grandfather passed away the other day.
Yes.
He was very close to him, and he meant a lot to him and us, too.
Yes, he's a wonderful man.
Wonderful man.
Wonderful.
Maybe the best I've ever met, to be honest.
The best.
He just, opened his arms up and welcomed both of us into his family like it was nothing but a thing.
He sure did. And that's just wonderful.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not trying to make you cry.
I know, right?
Here I go. It's
Here
fine.
You go. The waterworks.
So, if you notice our vibe, it might be a little off today.
A little. Yeah, I'm gonna try to carry
Laura's gonna try to carry
the humor.
Me
for
and Jake,
you and fact check Jake.
We've been feeling a little down. But
the show must go on.
Yeah, and we love to do it. And it makes us laugh. And so we talked, did we want to take a week off? And it was but this is what we love to do. And it makes us smile. And we listened to Eddie Murphy Party all the time before we started. And got in the zone.
Got in the zone, Chief.
So I think, we just want to...
We're going to ride it out.
Yeah.
We are going to give it the old college go.
We're going to do it. So sorry for my froggy throat. And if I cry multiple times throughout today's episode, just look away. It's fine.
Oh my gosh.
It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
So what else? Anything?
So what else is going on? Well, I do have to say, coming off of that note, I'm not trying to be sad or anything, but for Christmas, you got me a gift.
Did I? Which one?
Yeah, well, you and Jake did.
Okay.
And it was a book that I have been wanting to read for a couple years. It has been on my wish list.
To-read list?
My to-read list for several years. Now, if you know anything about me, most of my to-read list involves plants. Books about plants.
What do you mean?
I very rarely have the opportunity to read for pleasure. Right? And so you and Jake got me this book, and I already read it.
You read the whole thing?
I'm done. Yeah.
Oh, you didn't tell me.
Yes, and it is a book called Life's That Way by Jim Beaver.
Oh, you love him.
We've talked about Jim Beaver here. You might know him as Bobby Singer from Supernatural, but a great actor, and I absolutely adore him as an actor, but also he's a pretty cool human being.
Really?
And I even love him more after I've read this book.
Oh, so do you recommend?
I do recommend the book, and, it deals with loss, loss that he had in his life. And so it's a tearjerker, and it's very sad, but he gives you, how he dealt with the loss. But I have to say, I love a human with a good sense of humor, and even through his pain and his loss, he's a pretty funny character. Do you know, and I had to share this with you because I don't know if you maybe even heard me laughing in my room. I couldn't stop laughing. He had a cat Okay, so his name is Jim Beaver, and his cat's name was Sigourney Beaver.
Oh my God, yes.
Don't you love it?
Sigourney Beaver?
Sigourney Beaver.
Oh my God, I love that so much.
He's a man after our own heart.
That is
I just
fantastic.
had to share that with you. But I loved the book. It was great. Thank you for that gift.
Oh my God, Sigourney Beaver, new band name, called it. That's a fantastic band name.
It was great. I was laughing so hard, and I thought, oh my gosh, he's hilarious.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Starting off with a book recommendation. I love it.
Yeah, it was a great book.
I'm glad you liked it.
I loved it. Thank you.
You're so welcome. All right, so do you just want to jump in?
Are you ready to jump in?
I think I'm ready.
Okay.
My topic brings me much joy.
Does it?
Yes, it does.
All right. Hearkening back to the childhood again?
Yeah. So I'm doing Labyrinth today.
Yeah.
And a lot of people asked for it. And okay, so here's the thing. Me and Jake have been together going on 8 years.
Yeah.
And he has never seen it.
I could not believe that.
I know, because I used to watch it like literally 50 times a week.
And he loves Jim Henson.
And he loves Jim Henson. He likes the Muppets. He loves all of that. So I don't know how with those two things
escaped him.
Right. So I was like, oh my God, I'm going to do it and we're going to watch it. Mm-hmm. It's so much fun.
Yeah. Did he love it?
He loved it.
So
it's
cute,
pretty fun.
right?
How could you not?
How could you not love it?
Okay, so Labyrinth is a 1986 fantasy/musical film.
Musical.
Mm-hmm. Take note of that. Okay. It is based on conceptual designs by Brian Froud.
Yes.
Right? Who is, if you don't know, he's a fantasy illustrator. Oh my gosh, I used to have this book by him about fairies that I just and he has an oracle deck.
Yeah, you have that.
Yeah, and oh my gosh, his artwork is just stunning.
Brian Froud, his work is absolutely stunning. So if you want to check him out and more book recommendations.
Tons. Yeah. I feel like he could have his own episode at some point.
Oh, I absolutely agree with that. Yeah.
Because he's so magical. Mm-hmm. But the movie was directed by Jim Henson, and it was executive produced by George Lucas. Did you know that?
I did know that.
I did know that. Is he a Star Wars guy?
He is,
okay.
right?
I don't
know. I don't know. You're talking to the two wrong people here.
I'm like, what? I don't know.
Yes, he is the Star Wars guy.
Okay,
thank you, Jake.
Thank you. Fact check, Jake. All right. So the cast is Jennifer Connelly as Sarah Williams, and she's like, this had to have been one of her first movies because she was young.
She was super young.
And David Bowie as Jareth, a.k.a. the Goblin King.
The Goblin King.
And if we did a whole episode where I talked about David Bowie, and we love him.
We do. We do. Yes. As David Bowie or as Ziggy Stardust, right?
Or as Jareth.
Or as Jareth, the Goblin King.
Yeah, so
or when he's dancing in the streets. I don't know.
Okay,
we just love him all the way around.
Give us his whole catalog. I love it. And hey, he's a Capricorn. Hey, while we're on the fucking topic.
Oh, yeah.
So we did that astrology episode.
Oh, yes. The round table.
And girl, if I get one more DM.
Did you get roasted?
Because people say that we roast Capricorns. And you know what? That's fair. That's fair to say.
We do.
We make jokes. Here's the tea, okay? We were both wronged by a Capricorn man. There's the tea. That's all you need to know. So it's an inside joke where we're like, Capricorns, blah.
We love Capricorns, though.
We do. See, David Bowie's Capricorn.
There you go.
And Elvis
Presley.
Oh, my God.
Yes. And Denzel. There you go.
If you were Capricorn, it does not mean we will not like you. We're just playing around. I know everyone out there has that one sign that, like, you know...
the bane of my
screwed
existence.
Them over, and they're like, I will never talk to another, I don't know, Scorpio again.
Yeah, right.
So that's Capricorn. It's just a joke.
Yeah.
Anyway, included in the cast, I had to put David Bowie's bulge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did I just shock you?
Yeah, my eyes are like, I'm the blinking meme right now because Jake showed me a picture. I was like, what? What do you mean? When you said you were like, see, I'm stuttering for words right now because I had my face is all red. I had absolutely no idea that this was a thing.
Yeah, I didn't really either. I guess he's known as having like a big bulge.
And then Jake showed me a picture and I was
flabbergasted.
I thought this was common knowledge.
No, I had no idea. I was
dumbfounded.
I knew it from this movie where it's like its own character. Like every time he comes on screen, I'm like, whoa. Look away. He's wearing like really tight spandex and you can see
Well, I thought in this movie it was a codpiece, but apparently not.
I don't think it is. So the more you know. Everyone's going to go out and read the Labyrinth.
They're going to be like zooming up on pictures of David Bowie.
You don't even need to zoom.
No zoom needed.
It's just there. I was trying to do notes yesterday, and I'm like, oh my
goodness.
I'm getting flustered. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
So he's included in the cast.
He's included as his own separate member. LOL.
That was good. That was rich.
Oh, good one.
Oh my gosh. And various other voices because it's a lot of puppets.
Yes.
Because it's Jim Henson.
Yes.
So here's the rundown. It opens with Sarah, played by Jennifer Connelly, doing a little one-woman performance from a book called The Labyrinth.
Yes.
So she likes the theater.
The theater.
She's really dramatic. It's funny because as a kid, I sided with her. And then as an adult, I was like, girl, I watched it and I'm like, girl, you're like dramatic as hell.
High maintenance.
You need to calm down. She's pissed because she has to rush home from doing her little performance in the park to watch her baby brother, Toby. She's not happy about it.
It's terrible.
She has a stepmother that she calls evil stepmother, but the stepmother didn't seem that bad.
She seemed pretty nice.
She seemed kind of nice. I was like, all right. She was I think she's supposed to be like 14 in this movie. So, you know.
The terrible 14s.
That age. Yes, exactly. Once she gets up to her room, she notices her bear Lancelot is missing and finds it in her baby brother's room. Toby, she screams, someone take this baby away from me. She's
my gosh.
screaming, take me away from this awful place.
Oh,
She's
no.
just so dramatic. I'm like, okay. The poor baby is screaming, crying throughout the whole movie.
I know. I think he was teething.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Did you read that?
There's a lot of slobber.
Oh, did you just figure that out?
Yeah, I think he was teething.
Okay, well, the baby was teething, so he was crying throughout the whole movie. She starts to tell the baby a story with some major attitude, I noted. All about how the Goblin King has fallen in love with her and gave her powers. And she's going to make the Goblin King come and take Toby away. That poor kid. He's like, what the f*** is going on?
Spirit him away.
I'm teething.
I just want Lancelot.
I know. So in her, drama, she says the words, I wish the goblins would come and take you away right now.
Uh-oh.
And those were apparently the magic words.
It's magic words. Bye-bye, Toby.
Bye-bye, Toby. He disappears.
Goodbye, Toby.
It's been nice.
Hope to see you paradise.
Any Office fans out there will really appreciate that reference. Oh my God. So yeah, Toby just fucking disappears. That escalated really quickly.
Very quickly.
And these little goblins start surrounding her. And when we say goblins, they're cute. They're Jim Henson puppets. Exactly.
Yeah.
This, I guess I should have said, is kind of considered a kid's movie.
Yeah.
Yes and no. It's kind of like a dark kids movie, if that makes any sense. So she's looking around what the hell's going on? Because now all of a sudden she cares about the kid, but that's besides the point. An owl flies into the room and turns into David Bowie and David Bowie's package. I said that's pretty dope.
Not for kids' eyes.
Yeah, I'm like, this is a kid's movie. Anyway, David Bowie's package. What? Ignore me.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Yeah. Oh, R.I.P. David Bowie. Pouring one out for you. That's pretty dope. And I'll turn just flying in your room, and it's David Bowie.
It's David Bowie, and he still has the same hairdo as the owl's feathers.
Yeah, he has this magnificent mullet.
It is.
It's magnificent. Admit it.
Mullalicious.
Oh my God, that was great. Really caught me off guard. Mullalicious. Oh, put that on a t-shirt, honestly.
Cause my mullet too mullalicious for you, babe.
Oh, jeez.
We're going to have to make t-shirts with that
my
on
gosh.
it. Wow. Okay, so we find out that David Bowie is the Goblin King that she was talking about. And even though she begs for the baby back, he says, no fucking way.
Can't do it.
You said those magic words.
He's mine.
He's mine. He offers her a crystal that will show her all of her dreams, but only if she forgets about the baby. She says no, and he's like, all right, game f***ing on.
She needs to make up her mind.
Yeah, 1 minute you're like, take this child away, and then literally 2 seconds later you're like, no.
No, but my evil stepmom will be mad at me.
I know. You dramatic.
Chiss.
So he's like, game on. He says that Toby is in his castle beyond the Goblin City, and he points out the window, and all of a sudden it's the Goblin City. And that in order to get him back, she has to go through his labyrinth. Ooh.
Fun.
She, of course, has 13 hours.
Of course.
Of course, to solve the labyrinth before Toby turns into a goblin forever. If I was Toby, I'd be like, listen, just f***ing let me turn into a goblin.
Be a cute little goblin.
Right?
Yeah.
None of you people like me anyway. Just f***ing let me turn into a goblin with David Bowie's mullet. She runs in, so she's like, okay, we're going to go through this labyrinth. And she immediately runs into a goblin that's killing little fairies because they're mean and they bite. In this world, they're mean. I know. His name is Hoggle, and he reluctantly shows her the entrance to the maze.
Hoggle is cute.
I love Hoggle. I love all of the little characters in this movie. They're so cute. She meets a little British worm. This was my favorite part when I was little. Hello. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. That explains to her that there are hidden doorways, etc. within the labyrinth, because she's like, what the hell? Because it appears to be only one long strip, and she's like, there's no turns and everything. Right. But he explains that things are not always what they seem in this place, and shows her how to push against the one wall, and it opens another doorway and stuff. So even though it might not look like a doorway, it is. There's tricks and stuff in here. So she's going through the labyrinth. She tries drawing arrows on the ground to track where she's going, but little goblins, like...
Silly girl.
The little goblins pick up her drawing and flip them around, so she keeps just going in a circle, basically.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Toby is chilling with all of the goblins, and David Bowie
breaks out into song.
He breaks out into song. That's what I have. Yeah, again, we said this was a musical, so the entire thing is narrated in song by David Bowie.
Correct.
So
Dance Magic Dance.
Yes, it's the best. You remind me of the Babe.
The Babe?
Babe with the power. Wait, I still listen to the song all the time. We were watching it, and I was like, yeah. And Jake's like, what is going on?
What is this
But basically the song is them deciding like what kind of spell they're going to use on Toby when they get to turn him into a goblin. It's really fun. You can go on Spotify and find the soundtrack.
Oh, can you really?
Yeah.
That's cute.
I think they have it on vinyl too.
Do they really?
Yes.
Ooh, that has to be on the list.
I know. Okay, so what the fuck's her name? Sarah?
Yes.
Okay.
That's correct.
That's correct. Sarah.
Jennifer Connelly.
Stumbles upon two doors, each having two guards. Okay, so they're called the Four Guards, and they explain that one door leads to the castle, which is where she's trying to get to, and one leads to certain death, but they can't tell her which is which. Of course, she picks the wrong fucking door, and she falls through this giant hole, which is actually a really cool, like, artsy scene. It's like all of these hands.
Yeah. That's very cool.
And they're, like, talking to her, and they call themselves the Helping Hands. I just had to mention that scene because it's so cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
They, like, all the hands join together to form a face, and they talk, and it's, like, it's super creepy.
Yeah.
Like, for a kid.
But ingenious for the time.
So cute.
Yeah, I liked it.
Love it. They ask which way she wants to go, and she says down, which I'm like, what? Girl.
It's that kind of reminds me a little bit of like Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah,
it's kind of,
you know, falling down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But like, girl, why wouldn't you fucking go up? You never choose down.
Yeah. Why would she say down?
I don't know. She was like, I don't know, down. I'm like, you
get it together.
Get it together, Sarah. Okay, so she lands in an obulette. They call it an obulette, and I had to look this up.
I was going to say, I don't know.
It is actually a thing. It's basically a dungeon. An obulette.
They make it sound good so you don't think you're going to a dungeon.
Doesn't sound so fancy.
It sounds fancy.
An obulette.
Will there be fine china?
I know. No, there's like a bunch of down there.
How about some Grey Poupon?
In my omelette. I like
AKA Dungeon. The clinker.
Yeah, she's sent there to die, basically. Jareth is back in his, with his bulge.
He's
and
dancing.
He's like, you're stuck there forever. But Hoggle is down there. Yeah, he's
teasing his mullet.
He's crimping his mullet. Hoggle is down there, and he says he knows a way out of the labyrinth. But she quickly realizes that he likes jewelry. And she's like, well, if you show me how to get through the maze, I'll trade you some of my jewelry. And he falls for it because he's a goblin.
Yeah.
Okay.
He likes shiny things.
He likes shiny things. Throughout the movie, they come across other friends. One is named Ludo. Oh my gosh, who's like this big fuzzy giant beast. And at first he seems mean, but he's like super sweet and cute. And Sir Didymus.
I loved him.
He's hilarious.
Yeah.
He's like a little fox guy that rides around on a dog, and he has
He's
like
so
armor
cute.
and a sword, and adorable.
Loved him.
You have to watch just for like the little friends that she meets along the way. So at one point, Hoggle gets separated, and Jareth gives him a peach to give to Sarah, and obviously it's poisoned or something, because Jareth doesn't want her to reach the baby.
Snow White's apple?
Yes, but it's a peach.
But it's a peach. It's not James Giant either.
Okay. Good one, Laura.
I can go all day, man.
I'm here all night. So at one point, Sarah's like, I'm hungry. And he's like,
here's a peach.
Hoggle's like, take this peach, even though he feels bad because he likes her, but he still gives her the peach. She starts tripping balls, so to speak.
What was in that peach?
She's like, woo, I don't know where I am. And she like dazes out and like sees herself like dancing with Jareth in like a masked ball, and there's like another musical number, and she's tripping balls. That's all I have to say. But she wakes up and she's ready to fight. Okay, so she gets back with her friends. They storm the castle. A big fight ensues. And then it's time for like the final face-off between her and the Goblin King. Again, a musical number.
She lay the smack down.
Well, no, it's like, do you remember those drawings? I cannot remember who did them, that were like optical illusions with where the stairs went like all the same way. Escher? Was it Escher?
Escher?
MC Escher? Oh my God, did I just get it
right?
Jake?
Is that right?
MC Escher? Fucking fact check that right now. If I
that
just
it?
nailed that.
Girl.
I did. I just fucking pulled that out of my ass. MC Escher.
Girl, you rock.
A sickness can't stop me.
No.
So I was an art major, so I really shouldn't be like, I should know that.
I remembered some of my learning.
I know. So yeah, he, did like optical illusion. So there's a scene where they're like, Sarah and Jareth are walking on these steps that are very optical illusion-esque. You walk one way and then you're going up and then you're going down. And Toby's there and she's trying to get to him and she can't. Blah blah blah. I'm gonna just mention it. There's weird sexual tension there.
Yeah?
Yeah. Am I the only
Is it
one?
like Eyes Wide Shut when they're at the dance?
Yes, kind of. Obviously, that's wildly gross and inappropriate, and maybe. But what? I wasn't the only one. I think that she was like supposed to like him because he's like, I don't know,
kind of like your first crush as a kid, maybe.
Yeah, well, he's like everything that's bad. You know what I mean? Like your deepest desires or whatever. Yeah. So I think he was just supposed to symbolize that. I did come across it in my reading. So I'm not the only fucking
one that thought.
Okay, I'm not weird, I swear. So finally she says the words that she remembers from the book that she was reading from. You have no power over me. And immediately that was it. That's all she needed to do. She finds herself at home with Toby in his bed, and she sees an owl fly off into the distance. Literally, that's all you had to say this whole entire time. That's fine.
Jeez.
Get it together once again. She sees all of her friends in the mirror saying goodbye to her.
Sad.
I cry every time. They're like, if you ever need us.
Sad.
But she says, I do need you. And then they all appear in her room and they have a little dance party.
Oh, fun.
Happy ending.
Do they dance magic dance?
They do dance magic dance.
Nice.
Nice. And that's the end of Labyrinth.
Wow, so good. You wrapped it up in a nice, neat little package.
What a wild ride.
I know.
Okay, so my quote-unquote lesson today is I want to talk about labyrinths.
Ooh, fun.
Ooh, fun. Okay, so the definition of labyrinth is a complicated, irregular network of passages or paths in which it is difficult to find one's way out. But it's important to note that labyrinths are different than mazes because a labyrinth has the same path leads in and out. Like there's one way in and there's one way out, whereas a maze has tricks and turns.
Right.
So technically this movie should have been called Maze.
But then people would have thought it would be about corn.
Corn Maze. Starring David Bowie. Yeah, wouldn't have hit the same.
No,
you know?
probably not.
So they date back to the Neolithic age, to modern day Ireland, India, and Greece, among many other places. And they are found in many cultures throughout the world.
Yeah.
The most famous labyrinth appears in Greek mythology, and it is the Labyrinth of Crete. There are so many words I'm about to mispronounce. All right, so buckle the up.
Woohoo!
As I was writing it, I was like, I shouldn't even talk about this because I can't. It's just going to be bad. You ready to help me out?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Let's go.
Found in the story of Theseus.
Sounds good.
Sounds
or
good.
Theseus.
Okay, Theseus.
I don't know. Maybe.
Theseus, either one.
Tomato, tomato.
Who was the prince of Athens. This labyrinth was made for King Minos of Kenosis. Nope.
The Kenosha Kickers. Oh, that was a good one.
What is it? Knossos. Like literally, I don't know.
Kenosis. I mean,
Kenosis.
yeah.
Isn't that right? You know what? F you, Mom. It was made to contain the Minotaur, which is a half bull, half man. The Minotaur fed on people, so each year 14 people were released into the labyrinth to feed it.
Wow.
And the maze was so complex that even the creator, Daedalus, nope, that doesn't sound right.
Daedalus.
Daedalus. Is that right? God.
I don't know.
Even he couldn't find his way through it. I shouldn't have even talked about this. I'm so sorry to anyone I'm offending. The story is much more complex than that, but that's just
That's
every time I went to like search labyrinth, this kept coming up. So
Okay.
I figured
So
I
like,
should mention it,
had to mention it.
even though
Yeah.
I just totally butchered.
I just butchered the out of that.
Oh boy. But I did want to talk about labyrinths as a meditation practice.
I know. Are
Okay.
you going to tell the story?
Yeah, and I might get emotional because it's really, really weird how this topic synced up with what's going on right now. And I looked at Jake and I was like, what the hell? Because I was going to do this. I was going to do Labyrinth a while ago. And then I would just like kept putting it off. And then when I sat down to do my research this week, obviously it was a little tough. Had a tough week. But then there was like a lesson in there that I think we needed.
For you, yeah.
Crazy. Okay. So labyrinths symbolism, they symbolize journeys. So a beginning and an end. They represent self-discovery. And it is all about the journey to the center.
Yep.
Okay. They are used in meditation and prayer. They are also used in morning rituals because it gives you time to calm your mind. So that I thought was a little crazy.
Yeah.
Many covens and witches use labyrinths in their practice to get more in tune with themselves and their witchcraft path, so to speak.
The witchcraft journey, yeah.
Yes. Spiritually, the idea is to lose yourself from the outside world in the labyrinth so that you can discover your true path, calling, and true self. The repetition of walking through the path distracts your mind, basically. So that's why it is considered a meditation practice.
Yeah.
The purpose is to listen deeply and walk deliberately. And I thought it was interesting that it was said in the movie by one of the side characters, the way forward forward.
Forward.
Do we forward? The way forward is sometimes the way back. Mm-hmm. So I thought that like they were kind of hitting on something there. Mm-hmm. You can find labyrinths in churches, but also parks, schools, gardens, medical centers, because it's good for people, like I said, who are grieving or who, have a sick loved one. It, can entertain their mind. We actually just found one near the Space Needle.
I was going to say, we finally got out a little bit last week for the afternoon. And we safely went down to the Space Needle. And you're like, what are you taking a picture of? I was like, look at this huge labyrinth right near the Space Needle.
There was this crusty old swing set. And I thought she was taking a picture of the crusty old swing set.
And I'm like, look at this labyrinth.
I didn't look down. And I'm like, oh,
yeah.
So that's cool. So I think you can kind of stumble upon them anywhere.
Yeah.
So when you reach the center, you were supposed to stop and be still, right? So there's one way in, and you walk the path, and it'll wind. There's no right way to walk.
Right.
No right, no wrong. You do it at your own pace. Mm-hmm. And again, there's no tricks. One way in, one way out. So it's literally, you don't have to worry about getting lost is kind of the point.
Right.
When you reach the center, you were supposed to stop and be still. You can do extra meditation. I was in my research saw that some witches would leave like an offering at the center.
Yeah.
And then you make your way back out. Mm-hmm. And once you exit, you take time to reflect on what you may have learned while you were walking the labyrinth.
Yeah.
If you don't have access to an actual walking labyrinth, you can either purchase a small printed one or you can just literally Google them and print them out at home that you walk with your finger.
Oh, interesting.
And it does kind of, it holds the same purpose.
Interesting.
So that's my lesson on labyrinths.
Cool, but you didn't tell the story.
I was going to let you tell it.
Oh, were you?
I was.
Okay, so so when I used to teach massage therapy, and of course you were always in tow with me wherever I went, but that was one of my class lessons. One of the classes I taught, there was a very ornate church down in the center of Pittsburgh that we would go down, and they had a labyrinth in their great hall, and it was a beautiful church. It was all this old stonework and just old and just beautiful, but you would go down and they had candles lit everywhere. And the labyrinth was in the center. They had beautiful music playing. It was very quiet, very peaceful.
Open to everyone.
Open to everybody. And then I would let the students, and it was really hard for some people they didn't want to do it.
Right.
So you have to let people go at their own pace, and if they didn't want to do it, you just didn't let them do it. But I think that it's very transforming.
It's like a healing.
It's very healing
process. Yeah.
You wouldn't think to look at it. Right. It looks very simple.
Right.
But it is very transforming. And then, like you said, you go through at your own pace, your own time. You take as much time as you want. You sit in the center. You can sit when you get to the center, reflect, meditate as long as you want, walk back out. With them, they had candles all along where then you would light a candle for those that have gone before you.
Right.
So it was, really paying tribute to loved ones and lighting a candle for them.
Yeah, in a lot of my research, and I believe it was India. I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but it's used in mourning rituals a lot.
Yeah. Those are some of my favorite times. I loved that, and I'm so fascinated by them. That's why I was so excited when we saw that one last week, because
so I like them because I have trouble meditating. Like I have a very, very, I'm an air sign. I have a very, very active mind, and it is very difficult for me to calm it in any way. So like to sit down and try to just meditate, it's very hard for me. I have not mastered that yet. But something like this, it almost like quote unquote tricks you into doing it, because you have to look down and concentrate on where you're walking, and you do kind of get lost in that repetition of the walking, and then you find yourself, your mind is kind of, you're entering that subconscious. So I think that it's a really great tool.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
It is. Yeah, and if you're not comfortable in churches, we totally get it. But there's a ton of other,
you'll find a lot outside.
In like gardens and stuff, yeah. Or maybe just print one out and try one with your fingy.
Yeah, I've seen people like that have had big sand beds make one like
I've seen it on the beach.
Yeah.
Like people set them up with rocks on the beach. Yeah, you can get into it.
Oh, yeah.
I would 10 out of 10 recommend.
Absolutely.
And I think me and Jake need to go find one. I'm not even
go walk the Labyrinth.
We're going to go walk it.
Go to the one down by the Space Needle.
The Space Needle, I know. Little side notes here. I did want to touch on goblins a smidge because obviously the movie is littered with goblins.
The Goblin King.
They date back to the 14th century, but they're very similar to gremlins. And I did the gremlins episode over the holiday season. They're known for being very mischievous, similar to gremlins, and they're rather unpleasant.
Curmudgeonly, would we say?
Yeah, they're usually very small, and they do love jewelry, especially gold. So you can see that in this movie. That's actually a thing.
Very interesting.
Some other few little tidbits.
Yeah, fun facts.
Sarah's dog's name in the movie is Merlin.
Oh, cute, and her bear is Lancelot.
Yeah, cute. Toby, the little brother, is actually played by Toby Froud, Brian Froud's son.
Oh, cute.
I know. Adorable. There is a scene in the movie that involves something called the Bog of Eternal Stench. And it's like a land of farts. And it's hilarious. That's what, if you have a kid, they would, I mean, there's some funny stuff in the movie.
The land of farts.
The land of farts.
I had to finish my drink. Thank you.
Sting, Michael Jackson, and Mick Jagger were considered for the role of the Goblin King.
Oh, I don't think anybody could have played the Goblin King like David Bowie.
It was David Bowie's role.
Nobody could have rocked that.
Back off. It's mine.
Nobody could have rocked that mullet like David Bowie.
No. And also, my last tidbit is there is a cool documentary called Inside the Labyrinth that you can find on YouTube that is like an hour and a half long, all about the making of the movie.
Ooh, fun. Was it interesting?
It was. I didn't get through the entire thing, but it's on, I got to finish it. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
You know, I love, behind the scenes features.
Oh, don't we all? Yeah.
Okay, so that's Labyrinth.
I love it.
There you go.
Oh, top-notch job there, Leanne.
Thanks. Up top.
Woo!
Oh, that was
weak.
That was a
completely
really
weak.
Ignore it. Keep moving.
We'll let it slide today. All right. So am I up to bat?
You're up to bat. I'm strapped in. I'm ready.
Sweet rocket. Do you know what I'm doing today?
I do.
You do? All right. I decided to tackle a horror film today.
Laura's going horror.
I'm going horror, which is very rare because, but I love this horror.
You do?
Film. Yes.
I love this
I love this horror film. Yeah. So I'm doing Ghost Ship today.
You love this movie.
I love this movie. This movie came out October 25th, 2002.
Love a Halloween release.
Yes. And, 2002 kind of like...
Listen, I love like early 2000s horror because it was trying to get out of the 90s, but it still had that 90s feel, but it was trying to establish itself with like special effects, but it wasn't very good.
Still had a lot of the 90s cheese.
Love it.
Right. Okay, so this is considered a supernatural horror. $20 million budget and took in $68 million at the box office.
That's good, right?
Opened at number 3 opening weekend, but the reviews are pretty bad on this movie.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What the hell? I like it.
I know. I love it. So this movie was directed by Steve Beck, and he directed 2 feature films for Dark Castle Entertainment. This was his second and final, and his first directorial debut was 13 Ghosts in 2001.
Oh my God, Matty L has made his way into an episode once again.
He sure did. So the cast. This is a fucking stellar cast, I have to say. When you top your list with Mr. Gabriel Byrne, step out of the way. Because,
really?
Oh my God, I love him.
Yeah.
What? Dude, he's got a lot going on there. He's got so much on his resume. Yes. So, of course, he plays Captain Murphy, but we have seen him in Stigmata.
Oh, I love that movie.
Miller's Crossing, which is a great movie. Man in the Iron Mask, which you used to watch all the time. And Little Women, Heredity, he was just in. And, of course, Usual Suspects.
I didn't know you were going to give me his entire...
No, that's just a little skosh. That's just a little skosh of his large resume because he is awesome. Gabriel Byrne, awesome.
Okay, noted.
Okay, moving on. Next, Julianne Margulies.
You love her.
I do. She plays Epps.
Okay.
And we know her from ER usually, But Mist of Avalon, The Good Wife, and The Sopranos. I gotta give a few. It's just me. All right, so Ron Eldard plays Dodge.
Okay.
And he does a stellar job in Sleepers. That is epic. I know, you guys. Carl Urban plays Munder.
What was he in?
Well, right now he's in an epic hit called The Boys.
Okay,
but you would probably know him from Lord of the Rings.
Oh, now I'm intrigued.
Now it's okay. Now it's okay. Isaiah Washington, who plays Greer, and he's from Grey's Anatomy. Now, did they gather all these folks together from the medical shows and be like, let's make a movie, guys?
Let's do a horror movie.
I know. I'm going to butcher this name. I'm really sorry. Alex Demetriadis.
Sounds right.
Okay. He plays Santos. And Emily Browning plays Katie.
Okay.
And Desmond Harrington plays Jack Ferryman.
Wow. What a cast.
So that pretty much is the cast.
Are you sure?
Well, there's a lot more, but those are the main folks. Okay. I don't want to leave anybody out. All right, so here's the plot. It follows a marine salvage crew in the Bering Sea who discovers a mysterious ocean liner that disappeared in 1962.
1962.
1962. Okay. So the film opens to a 1960s bright pink font and some happy-go-lucky music.
Immediately lures there.
I am there. And then we see it opens up aboard the SS Antonia Grazia. Okay. And the opening scene is the customary end of the ship trip, which is the captain's ball. So we see people dressed up and they're celebrating and they're having dinner.
So it's like a cruise.
It's like a cruise. Okay. Yeah, they're cruising.
With Smokey Robinson? Or?
Yeah.
I got you.
I got you. That's a good one. So I'm not going to ruin this because this is considered, not only by me, but in my reading, It is considered one on the top 10 of all time best opening horror movie scenes of all time.
You say it all the time.
I say it all the time. I feel so validated. Because it is. So I don't want to give it away.
You're not going to spoil.
I'm not going to spoil that.
Okay.
So we hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to say that. And unfortunately, this is where the bad reviews come in because then the momentum kind of peters out.
They started off with a bang.
They started off with the bang.
It was hard to top it.
Hard to top that. And so then it was like, meh.
Right.
But I still think
it's a good movie.
It's a good watch. So after that opening horror scene, we jump 40 years later to our salvage crew, fresh off a victorious salvage, enjoying some celebratory drinks at the local watering hole.
Oh.
Okay. They are approached by a man named Jack Ferryman. And he is a weather service pilot. He tells them that while he is out patrolling, he spots what looks like an abandoned vessel floating in the Barren Sea.
Was it David Bowie's Bulge?
The abandoned vessel?
Yeah. I don't know why it popped in my head. It's just in there, you know.
Okay. Keep going?
Yeah.
All right. As she digresses. Okay, so because the ship is in international waters, it can be claimed by whoever brings it into port.
Okay.
Meaning, if they find it, bring it in, whatever it's worth, they get it.
Okay.
So that's pretty intriguing to the salvage crew. So he says all he wants is 20% finder's fee, and they can have the rest. And so, of course, they're all like, hello, we'll jump right in at that. And if that's not a red flag, people.
I was going to say, do you even know what's on it?
No, they don't even know if it's abandoned. They don't know if it's real. They don't know who this guy is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're all like, hey, yeah, let's do it. So they all jump on their tugboat called the Arctic Warrior, and including Mr. Ferryman. He's going along with them. And they set out to find this vessel. No surprise, it's the SS Antonio Grazia that we saw in the very beginning. Uh-oh. What happened? As soon as they board the vessel, all those red flags start popping up. Yeah. And that is a signal to get the hell out. But do they? They don't.
No.
Because then there wouldn't be a movie, right? So pretty much as soon as they get on there, things start happening. Epps, who's Juliana Margulies' character, sees what appears to be a little girl. And she's like,
hello.
Let me rub my eyes. That can't be right. You in trouble. Get out of there. Her name is Katie.
Okay.
And she's not quite like the other ghosts that you're going to see on this boat. She's a little bit different.
Okay.
But after a series of supernatural occurrences and a ghostly encounter, and let's not forget that they discover 9 boxes, each containing 28-ounce 100 gold bars.
What?
Yeah. So 9 boxes, each containing 100 gold bars.
Nope. Too good to be true. Back out.
The crew decides, let's just abandon salvaging this vessel.
And take the
gold and get the hell out. Sounds smart, right?
It does.
Could it really be that easy, Leanne?
No.
The supernatural forces have other plans. And as they're heading out on the Arctic Warrior, it goes boom, killing Santos.
Oh, no. Rest in peace, Santos.
R.I.P. And leaving them without a way home except aboard the Antonio Grazia.
Nope.
So
that's like my worst nightmare. Being like stranded at sea.
Exactly. Well, I think it's a lot of people's nightmares, as we'll discuss. But it leaves the crew no choice but to fix it so they can try to get home. And so how do we think this is going to end?
Really old.
Yeah, this is, and I think that was one of the things in my reading is this plot has been done before, except for the opening scene. You know, it's not something we really haven't seen before, but still good. So Captain Murphy is so distraught over the loss of Santos that he goes to the captain's cabin to get himself a drink because he saw some liquor that's been sitting around there for 40 years.
I'll take it.
I'll take that. He encounters the ghost of the ship's captain.
Oh.
And he informs him that they had picked up the gold and one sole survivor on a ship named the Lorelei. And when they did that, all hell broke loose. And he shows him a picture of the lone survivor, and he freaks out. And he goes to tell the others, but he's stopped before he can let them know what's happening. And just like an Agatha Christie movie or a novel, and then there were none.
Oh, no.
I'm not going to ruin everything, but we see that Epps is pretty much the sole survivor. So Katie, the ghost girl, wants to help Epps and shows her exactly what happened on the Antonio Grazia, like in the beginning.
Oh, right.
And it is no surprise, guys, this is a spoiler.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, that Mr. Ferryman is the culprit. Did anybody not see that coming?
Tisk.
He was the lone survivor on the Lorelei. And he tells Epps that he is also a salvager, but he is a salvager of souls. He says, you collect ships, I collect souls.
I
collect souls, a job given to me after a lifetime of sin. I fill the boat with souls, ferry them to hell, fill my quota. But Katie is not like the others because children are born without sin, so they cannot be marked and cannot be controlled. And that's how she was able to help Epps and the other ones. So Ferryman needed the boat fixed to continue his job soliciting souls. And so Epps blew up the ship, killing Ferryman and freeing all of the souls on board.
Love it.
Katie helps her escape. She's rescued, but as she is wheeled into the ambulance, she spots Ferryman and a new crew loading gold onto the new ship.
Oh,
because you can't kill what's already dead.
Oh, well, what a bummer.
Is there a sequel? I think not.
Hey, I would have watched it.
Hey, I probably would have too, but it was not to be.
Okay. We're the only ones.
So that's kind of the plot of the movie.
Love it.
I didn't want to spoil everything.
You left some nuggets.
I did leave some nuggets, including that number one that hit.
Yeah, if you do anything, go and watch like literally the first 10 minutes.
Oh my gosh, so
will not be disappointed.
So good. So then it got me curious about ghost ships.
Yes.
You know, because it's like, and I think a lot of it is
like haunted ships.
A little bit about what you're saying, that, you know, just that fear of being lost at sea or on this vast ocean with nowhere to go. You're kind of stuck. That would not be good for a control freak like myself. Oh. I have never seriously wanted to go on a cruise.
No, you will never catch me on a cruise.
Nope.
That's a no from me.
That is not Laura's dream vacation.
No.
So, so I couldn't find anything definitive as far as like where they came from, but a ghost ship refers to a vessel with no living crew on board. It can be ghostly, like the Flying Dutchman.
Okay.
Or a physical vessel that's found adrift with the crew missing or dead, such as the Mary Celeste. So,
okay.
The Flying Dutchman is a haunted ship and was believed to be unable to make port, and it was cursed to sail the seas forever with its crew. First appearing in the 17th century, sightings of the ship are usually seen in bad weather, and the ship glows with a ghostly light.
Wasn't he a SpongeBob character?
No. Yes,
was
the Flying Dutchman did appear on
was
SpongeBob.
He really?
Laura's like, no.
No, really?
Yeah, the Flying Dutchman was like a captain. He was a ghost.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
oh my
so
gosh.
that makes sense, though.
Okay, so that
Cute.
does make
sense.
sense.
And he had like a glow.
Oh,
yeah, look.
Fun. Oh, yeah. Okay, I see him. All right, he's kind of cute.
She's like, all right, I'll take it back.
Okay, I take it back. So seeing the ship was not a good omen, and it definitely meant doom.
Great.
So we also saw the Flying Dutchman in Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the Flying Dutchman.
Okay.
Now, in the movie, Captain Murphy, tells the tale of the brigantine ship, the Mary Celeste.
Okay.
And she was a real ship. So her fate has passed into maritime myth thanks in large part to a story written by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
Motherfucker, would you get out? Why do you
had his hand in everything?
Why do you keep creeping in?
So anyway, she set sail from New York to Genoa, Italy on 11/7/1872.
Okay.
Nearly a month later, on 12/5, she was discovered adrift, completely intact, seaworthy, full of provisions and all of the belongings untouched, but the entire crew vanished without a trace and was never seen again.
Yo, that's weird.
So for 135 years, this tale is regarded as the most famous mystery of the sea.
Whoa, okay.
So that's kind of creepy, right?
Yeah, where'd they fucking go?
Nobody knows. They've never found out.
Ew.
Weird,
okay.
right?
Yeah. Scary.
That's a little creepy. So the ship in the movie was based on a real ship called the Andrea Doria, which was an Italian cruise liner, which makes sense because the Grazia, like the captain was Italian.
Okay.
You know.
I love when you do that.
What?
You remind me of Giada De Laurentiis when you say one word really Italian.
Ricotta. Shut up. I'm not even going to go there. Not even I'm going to.
Just so all of you know,
I am a huge Sopranos fan.
I think they would have known by what I'm about to say. Laura went up to, in Pittsburgh, there's this famous Italian deli.
So now when you watch The Sopranos, every other word out of Tony Soprano's mouth is, Christopher, go get the gabagool. Go get the fucking gabagool. Right?
So she went up to a meat counter and asked for gabagool.
And they're like, do you watch The Sopranos? No, that's not a real thing.
You are Michael Scott. I swear.
Am I?
Yes. I'll take the gabagool.
I'll take the gabagool.
Sorry, I had to just interject.
Anyway. Okay, so the ship in the movie was based on a real ship called the Andrea Doria. Okay. Shut it. So the Doria set sail in 1956. The ship in the movie was like completely modeled to structure of the Andrea Doria.
Okay.
The Doria set sail in 1956 from Italy on a 9-day cruise to the U.S., which is exactly like in the movie, they're going from Italy to the United States.
Okay.
Somewhere along the line, it crashed into another ship and sank, killing 46 people.
Oh, geez.
The interesting thing about it is people still dive to this day to salvage treasure from the ship, and it's considered a very perilous dive. 16 divers have perished, one as recently as 2015.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of creepy little tale.
Okay. I feel weird about people diving and taking things from stuff like that because it is kind of like it's like a gravesite.
Yeah.
Right? It kind of feels a little wrong.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting in the movie, although I don't know if it's meant as an effect to be scary, but just seeing everybody's stuff, like after 40 years,
right?
Like, people's dresses
shoes
and food and it's really creepy. And then it's got like that moss,
Yeah.
It's very unsettling.
I feel like it should let's just leave it alone.
Let's just leave that go. Yeah. So that's kind of ghost ships.
Very cool.
Very interesting.
Yes.
And then I thought, well, I have to touch, I don't know if you picked up on it, but the bad guy, the devil in this film, his name was Jack Ferryman. Mm-hmm. So his character comes right out of Greek mythology. And he is based on Charon. Charon is how it sounds, but it's Charon.
Now who's having a hard time with the Greek words?
I know, right? I can't get it out. So Charon was the ferryman of the dead.
Sorry, Karen.
Charon!
Fucking Karen. The ferryman of the dead.
Oh, yeah. An underworld spirit in the service of Hades. Okay. He gathered the souls from the upper world and led them down to the shores of the underworld on his skiff, which is a boat. His fee was a coin placed in the mouth of the dead. Or I've also seen a lot of people in different cultures put 2 coins on the eyes.
That's what I always thought.
To pay your passage to the other world. If you were unable to pay, you were doomed to wander the earth as a ghost or a wraith.
Well,
right?
Make sure you slip some gold.
And although Charon is a deity, he is often referred to as a spirit or a demon. But he was the child of Nyx, or night, and Erebus, darkness. They were both gods. Charon's existence predates that of Zeus.
Really?
Yeah.
So they kind of, did some research a little bit.
They did some research. And because when he talked about the Mary Celeste, that was all true, like in the movie. So I feel like they did do their research.
And he has the gold. And
he has the
taking
gold.
Them. That's interesting.
And he's taking their souls. Yeah.
Okay, so everyone clowning on Ghost Ship, like, back the fuck off.
I thought it was good. But it's interesting because one of the things, again, sometimes I like stuff that a lot of people don't like, but it got such bad reviews. And I thought, how in the world did they nail that stellar cast? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So here's a couple fun facts I found out.
Love it.
The original script was actually a psychological thriller. It was supposed to be The Shining on water. So, stuck in cabin fever,
going a little,
cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. The script was drastically altered by producer Joel Silver and turned into a horror film. So the original script is what the cast signed on for and were unaware of the changes until they got off the plane to film.
What?
By this time, they were already contractually obligated and bound to do the film.
The old bait and switch.
Yep. Juliana Margulies is said to have denounced this film.
Really?
Yeah. Like, they were really upset about it, the cast.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, gosh, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
But I guess if you thought you were doing something else.
If you're kind of an A-lister, though,
right,
you might not, it's a B-horror.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
So Juliana Margulies and Ron Eldard, who played Dodge, actually were dating during the making of the film. They met on ER and dated from 1991 to 2003.
Wow.
And I was hoping that the making of this movie did not end their 12-year career. No.
That fucking ghost ship movie.
The ghost captain mentions a ship called the Lorelei.
Yeah.
And this is a German poem about a siren who lures boats to ruin and sailors to their deaths.
Really?
Yeah. So I feel like they really did do some research.
Okay.
The film was the launching board for the careers of Carl Urban and Emily Browning.
Okay.
And most of the filming occurred on sound stages, and the only real boat used during the filming was the tugboat, the Arctic Warrior. While filming these scenes, a feeding frenzy ensued in the water, bringing 800 to 1,000 sharks within 50 yards of the crew and actors.
And
again, on
that
note,
that is a fucking no from me. That is probably what destroyed those two's relationship. Like that fucking ghost ship movie with the fucking sharks.
Oh my God, can you imagine?
No, I cannot.
Like 800 to 1,000 sharks swarming. Because if you see the tugboat in the movie, not that big.
Nope.
Nope. It's not like they're on a cruise liner and some sharks. No, a tugboat, not that big.
No, they don't pay enough for that.
You ain't paying me enough for that shit. No way. Yeah. So that's what I got.
I like that.
Fascinating,
right?
Yeah,
I already liked the movie, but I think I give it a little more credit now.
I love that movie.
Yeah. And I did not know that that's what a ghost ship was. I know that sounds silly, but I thought you meant like just haunted ships.
Yeah.
But I didn't know it was like abandoned, that's interesting.
Yeah, it could be haunted or abandoned.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Way to go, Laura.
Thanks.
I don't know. I think everyone should give this a watch.
I think you should.
Don't take it too seriously.
Yeah, I think it's fun. But again, even for that opening scene, I'm telling you, freaking awesome.
They nailed it. You got to know, it's an early 2000s horror film. And for that, I think that it stands, it holds its ground.
Got to know your decade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I love it.
Way to go, Laura.
Sweet.
Super cool. I love when you do horror.
Yeah, it's rare.
It is rare.
Uh-huh. I like the ones that aren't too super scary.
You like the script flip. I don't know. That opening scene is kind of terrifying.
Yeah. Although I read something where they said on Mythbusters, they tried to see if that was plausible.
Oh,
and
I highly
obviously
doubt it.
it was not. It's a movie, kids.
It's a movie, guys.
Fictional.
Oh my gosh.
So there we go.
Well, that was a fun one.
That's a wrap.
Yay, I needed that today.
Yeah, I love it.
Love it. All right.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think? Should we wrap her up?
Let's wrap this up.
Okay, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
Yeah. Is it time for Killer Quotes?
I think it's time for Killer Quotes of the Week.
All right. Awesome.
Da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na.
Da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na. All right, my killer quote of the week is from Fact Check Jake.
Is he doing it?
And he's going to give it to us.
Sweet.
Okay, so here it is. He enters a labyrinth. He multiplies by 1,000 the dangers already inherent in the very act of living, not the least of which is the fact that no one with eyes will see how and where he gets lost and lonely and is torn limb from limb by some cave minotaur of conscience. And that is from Beyond Good and Evil by Nietzsche.
Whoa.
Joyous.
Good thing you did that, because I would have just butchered the hell out of that.
I'm turning it over to Fact Check Jake.
Fact Check Jake.
And my killer quote is, magic is stored in the butt. Which is a funny quote by Aleister Crowley.
But I don't think it's real.
Oh,
I think
it's
a
made up.
joke.
Oh.
You know what? Actually, you never fucking know.
You never know. We're talking Aleister Crowley here. So that was sent in by Julianne. Thank you. I love that.
She
Great.
likes to give us a good laugh. Thank you for that.
I like it. Okay.
All right, everyone. Thanks for hanging out today. I know it was a little, we needed to pick me up.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
All right. So if you want to be next week's Killer Quote of the Week, make sure to follow us on Instagram at Uncle Bob's Magic Cabinet, and we'll tell you what to do. Make sure to check out our Patreon. It's, you can find it in the link in the show notes. You can get all kinds of cool merch and bonus episodes and bloopers and all kind of fun. So go check that out.
Yes.
We would be happy to have you join the fan club.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about it for today.
That's it.
Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for hanging, TTFN.
All right, cut, print, check the gate, moving on.